Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me in today's timeless pick a card reading, where we will be answering the question, why you would be better off without them. It's a question, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I'm not doing a second take. Why would you be better off without this person? So, although you can approach it as a relationship reading, which I think most of you might. This doesn't necessarily have to do with romance. It can be a toxic friend or toxic family member, even a work situation, work itself, why you'd be better off without whatever you feel is relevant to you. So hopefully you find it helpful, and I intend on making this a pretty quick reading. See how it goes. But anyway, thank you so much for your support, for your time, for your love, for your comments and likes. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let me show you the three piles. So pile 1 is going to be this card. Pile 2 is going to be and then pile 3. So I'm going to try and remember this time to, because I take a picture of the piles now, and that was a good suggestion, by the way. So hopefully I remember to put that. If you need some more time to pause, reflect, meditate on which pile you feel is appropriate for you. Otherwise, I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the Jack of Clubs, which is the Ace of Wands, this is your reading. Why are you better off without them? And if you missed the intro, it isn't necessarily a love relationship reading, but so take it as it resonates, especially for this topic. So I have 2 oracle cards describing the person. Whoever this person is, just so you can get a feel of their energy, and then the rest of the reading is going to be on why you'd be better off without them, and it's going to be fairly quick, at least that's the intention. So their energy is the warrior, and I'll say this about all of the piles actually, is that these archetypes, there could be negative archetypes, like unbalanced, and all these archetypes are balanced. So starting with you, of course, but I think throughout the whole reading, these aren't bad people, and maybe that's why there's been conflict regarding whether or not you should just move on without them, or that it's better off that you disconnect for whatever reason. But yeah, warrior energy, and then I have another oracle that says you've become distracted from the things that matter. Decide where your priorities lie, and restructure your life in order of importance. And if you want to, I don't know if you want to see that, but it just feels like this person is scattered. They have a very scattered energy. It could be any fire sign, or even a few air signs like Gemini, or, Aries, Sagittarius, things like that. But with the Jack of Clubs being the page here, it just feels like this energy is getting you scattered, and you're being guided to step away from that, kind of recenter yourself, prioritize your goals, because their energy is just, it's draining, it's very tiring just to be around them. I could imagine someone who's they're good to have when you have a lot of things that need to get done, but at the same time they're very scattered. So I could imagine them in a group, not being able to delegate responsibility because they want to do everything at once, and it's messy. There's like a messy energy, and I'm thinking of a group specifically. So if you're in a team and this person's all over the place, it's really not beneficial for the team at all. It's almost like it would cause conflict. Their presence, their desire to just fight and sometimes I think this person creates conflict out of boredom or out of because they don't direct their energy any more productive. And if this is a relationship, that's the case as well. Is maybe they need a hobby, or maybe they just need friends, or a better outlet instead of creating conflict within the relationship. So let's just get some additional cards. We have the Page of Pentacles showing up, Knight of Cups, and then the Ten of Cups. And I'll do clarifiers for these. I wasn't kidding about rapid fire, was I? Jeez. Death underneath the Knight. Yeah, with the Knight of Cups and Death, it's going to be different for everyone, whether or not it's a relationship. But it really has the energy of beginnings and ends, beginnings and ends. And if this is a romance, a romantic partnership, I think they like starting relationships but not following through. Like, this is someone who likes first dates and second dates, but not a few months in, they get bored very quickly, very, very quickly. And then that's when drama is created, and I'm getting that you don't need any of that. It's not really. I think you're at a point in your life where you have better things to do than create drama unnecessarily and waste energy like that. And then we have the Page of Cups. So there are a lot of pages. This could also, I was just going to say be children. That's not what I meant like that. But it could be like a childlike energy where they just want to have fun and just play around. And there is a time and place for that. It really is. But because these two pages are underneath the Six of Swords, maybe it's just time to grow up from that energy, grow up from just being all over the place. This reading calls for a lot of focus, and there's a place for that. Again, there's a place for focus and play, but it is something that is preventing you from achieving your goals, whatever that is. Especially if it's creating a foundation, especially if it's creating either a family or a strong friendship, like a community. So if it was friendships, it'd be hard to formulate a group when the friends don't communicate on a regular basis. So if it was like a meetup or something like that, maybe this person wants to change the theme of the meetup constantly, and because of that, it's hard to get a lock on the types of people who are interested in that sort of group. I don't think I've shown any of these to you. Let's do that in a sec. Yeah. This is the last card that came out, the Seven of Cups. Underneath the Ten of Cups, which in a way was describing the Nine of Wands. So it's like this person is so focused on the end goal, and it's like they'll try different things, and if it doesn't work, they'll drop it immediately and try something else, and they'll just keep trying and trying. And I think whatever the situation is, this group, this team, or this relationship is calling for a more steady energy so that it could be clear, a clear foundation, a clear direction. If it's even an art project, the lack of clarity is coming from an ungroundedness that this person is giving off, and it's a vibe that they're almost they're burning with this vibe. They're almost convincing people around them that, the only way to be productive is to go 1,000 miles an hour, and or they'll say something like, this is our only chance, this is our only chance, this is our only opportunity, come with me, or invest. But it's not only, it's not just that it's irrational, it's just sporadic and impulsive, and that's not the energy that would make you feel very grounded and secure in yourself. And so if that's the feeling you've been getting, that's probably why. Even if you think of this person, you might notice it's almost as if you had a shot of espresso. But let's see what would happen if you get away from this person, even if it's temporary. Aura. Okay, so I did mention aura. I'm guessing this card, I'm going to get into the card, but I'm guessing this means that you would just recognize the difference in energy. I'll get another oracle, but that's what I'm... Heal. Okay. And you'll have the space to heal. It's interesting because I had noticed this earlier, and then I just completely ignored it, but this card kind of has that feeling of aura. I don't know if you could see the circle in the middle. So this person has very big energy, but it's not controlled. And it affects a lot of people around them. But by being still, you could recenter and also notice their presence. Notice how much chaos they cause within your mind and emotional field. Just so you could know that however you want to move forward, whatever products you want to pursue, or whoever you want to be is really rooted in you, and not just you're not just being pulled along someone else's chaotic energy. So yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Chariot card, this is your reading. Why you would be better off without them. And if you missed the intro, this isn't exclusively a romantic partnership reading. This could be with friends, family, and so forth. So just take it as it resonates, as it applies to you. And yeah, we're just going to jump straight in. It's going to be fairly quick. So I have a couple oracle cards, and they're here to show who this person is. And as I mentioned with pile 1, and I will mention in pile 3, none of these people are bad people or like truly toxic. It just seems as though they are imbalanced in some way. So for you, we have the artist. This is the person that you could that you'd be better off without them. The artist, very interesting. And then the oracle, there's words, a little sentence here. So it says, your ideals, comparisons, and expectations are fueling regret and guilt. Stop obsessing over a past decision. And that represents this person's mindset or energy. But I guess I'll just mention the other cards. In the tarot, we have the Chariot, which is what you picked, the 5 of Pentacles, and the Justice card. So, I mean, with this person and this energy that you're in, or surrounding yourself with, it just feels like a guilt trip. Like they're pursuing an artistic career or endeavor or something like that, and that's wonderful. But it almost feels like there's a poverty mindset, a mentality that is, well, if you want to be an artist, you cannot make money, and if you make money, then it's not really art. And that's a very strong emotion that I'm getting from them. And I also see with the Chariot and Justice, this is probably someone who's in your life that represents a karmic cycle, maybe ancestral patterns and thought patterns, something like that. So if you want to move beyond it, I think that mentality has to shift. And you might not be able to shift this person's mindset, which is why you might be better off without them. But you could also change that within yourself, and maybe that'll change this person's opinion. But I think the first thing that I'm being told almost is, are you willing to move on without them? Because I think if you sit and think about it, you're like, well, no, I'm not willing to be completely broke and make art. I deserve something for my time and my creative expression, but I'm not just gonna not get money for that. That's ridiculous. So with the Chariot here, it just feels as though you would move two things. You'd move very quickly if you decide to cut them off, or at least cut off their mindset, or think independently of this person. But as long as they're in your energy, I think you'll hear the whispers of just feeling guilty, almost making a pact. It's like, if I don't make money, you don't make money, we won't make money together, we'll live in a van. And you're like, but I can make money, so I'm not just gonna not do that because you're feeling insecure, that sort of thing. And that's what I'm getting with the Five of Pentacles too, with Taurus. And it almost seems like it's due to their inability to ground their vision fully, and it's not necessarily, and they're equating that to, oh, artists simply cannot make money. With the Justice card, it just shows me a few things that balance, and that balance is coming through with the Chariot too, right? So balance in expectations with your art or creative venture, balance in spending and giving and taking, balance in masculine and feminine energies. Justice could also mean, though, in this case, it feels like letting go of this person. And maybe if you feel that you are not in balance with your finances, it's almost as if the Justice, by cutting this person out, you balance yourself. You know, it's almost like this person is causing the imbalance within your energy, and that's being reflected physically. Okay, so let's rapid fire. Yeah, look, the Six of Pentacles. Isn't that amazing? I don't know why it's so amazing, but I just visualize the Five of Pentacles, and this is really what's going to happen if you move on without this person. And I don't want to approach this reading like you must leave in order for this to happen, but I think leaving the mindset is big here. It's gonna, if things don't seem fair, it's because you're in the presence of this energy, and that could also be a reflection of a subconscious thought pattern. So that's something you might want to work on. We have Destiny. Which I think is the Wheel of Fortune, if I'm not mistaken. It's like you're creating that. And then the King of Wands. So this is why you would be better off without them. And then I saw this. Is it 6? 7 of Cups, which looks very different here. It's more like just being isolated. I think part of you're a little worried of leaving this person behind, and the question is whether or not you're willing to just not live up to your fullest potential just so that you could comfort this other person. Is it worth it? Is it worth like delaying your destiny? Is it worth making less than what you could be making? And this is what this fire is there for. This King of Wands, this burning masculine energy within you is asking you to take the lead and take control of your destiny, of where you want to go. Be selfish, be a little selfish, because it'll actually end up benefiting a lot of people. It's like your art can reach a very large audience if it's allowed. Oh, this was the 7 of Pentacles. Whoops. I just got the 6 of Pentacles. So, I mean, it showed up anyway. It's kind of funny because this looked like a scale and I just went with it. Doesn't it? It kind of has that balance, but this is something that comes from growth, from putting in the effort, but not getting it yet. You know, like the seeds are growing, but they're not all ripe for the taking, not quite yet. And it's like you are talented and this person is talented too, and the philosophy behind why abundance isn't flowing in the way that you or them might want it to is different. And I think that dissonance is almost pushing the flow of abundance from coming in at full strength. Yeah, so we have the 8 of Wands. There's a lot of momentum with the Chariot, King of Wands, 8 of Wands. There's a lot of it feels like a hose, you know, like a river that wants to flow through. The only thing that's stopping that is beliefs, is an idea of, well, I know the river is flowing this fast, but it shouldn't be, or something like that. Or it's almost as if there's rocks on the riverbed, and you know that you could pull the rocks out, but your friend doesn't want you to, and you know that you'll be able to go faster if those rocks are gone, and that rock just happens to be the friend or whoever this is. And I see the Death card underneath the King of Wands, so it could just be a transformation that they have to go through separately, independently of you. Because if you could imagine, like, the reverse happening, where instead of you believing this person or feeling sorry for this person and trying to step down to their level to be like, hey, we don't have to make money, we could be, I don't want to say poor, but, you know, modest financially, or through recognition as well. But the opposite could be the case, where they see how successful you are, how successful and abundant you can be, and they say, wow, I could do it too. And instead you're bringing each other up instead of down. And I think that's really the path that your spirit team wants you to take. Like, mentor. I think that ties pretty nicely to what I just said, that you could be the one on top bringing your friend up, but in order to do that you have to separate yourself from them. It's like, these people up top cannot help this person climbing if they're not at the top already. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna end the reading there. I don't know why that felt so intense, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the reading resonates. Please let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, share. I love reading, I really do. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose... I'm hoping this is the right card, actually. I might have switched it. Whoops. But I think it was the Queen of Swords. I'll have to look at it again. I'm pretty sure this is it. But anyway, this is why you are or would be better off without them. And as I said in the last 2 piles, and in the intro, this isn't necessarily a romantic relationship. It could be any kind of relationship, friendship, family, friends, partner of any kind. So why you would be better off without them. And yeah, let's jump in. So I have a couple oracles that describe the person, whoever this is, that you would be better off without. And like I said in the other two piles, they aren't bad people. It's not like an incredibly toxic person, at least not in this case. Maybe for some of you. But this is just, these are, for the most part, people who are just slightly out of balance, who are tipping to one side of the scale, and it's almost as if throughout this reading it's been, you just need the space so that you could realign yourself first. So the person that you have is activist. This could be, social activist, something like that, someone who wants their voice to be heard. And then we have this card, which says, number 37, trying to minimize the risk of being hurt again with emotional barriers is counterintuitive. And then for the tarot, we have the Queen of Swords, which we saw, the Four of Swords, and then the King of Hearts. So, and I'm noticing just two people who express themselves differently, who think differently, and who might not communicate on the same level. And I think that's caused a little bit of friction between you and this other person. I don't think any of you are wrong, but I think it's almost as if the person who, like the Queen of Swords, is guarding their heart because they don't really know how to express love through the heart center. Or the King of Hearts would not know how to put words to the emotions that they're feeling, that sort of thing. And I think the pause in between these two people it's literally the key in this card. The key is found in the space between both the heart and the mind. Both the heart and the mind of both people. So it's very open, and I think that's where you'll both find clarity, because I think as you separate, not only again from this person, but also within yourself, within your heart and mind, which is usually not something you want to hear, right? You're trying to connect them. But in this case, I think if you could isolate them and then notice, like, energetically which one has more influence, you could kind of balance that out and almost pickpocket maybe childhood influences, or mostly childhood influences, or influences from past relationships and friendships that could be trickling into this relationship or partnership or family relationship, whatever it is. Because I think both parties have outside influences that are not relevant, but they're just, causing a little bit of trouble between both of you, or between a certain goal that you both want to accomplish. So let's get some more tarot. Just to have the Nine of Wands. Okay, that's too much. I'll take all of it. Sorry. I'll take this one. Three of Wands. So 2 Wands. Yeah, with the trying to minimize risk about being hurt again with emotional... Oh my god. This sentence. Trying to minimize the risk of being hurt again with emotional barriers is counterintuitive. That sentence is... I don't like the way it flows. But anyway, I'm seeing that visually with this card. So this Queen of Swords, whether you resonate with being that or the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords is putting up walls. That's what this feels like, guarding the heart, and that's because the heart is wounded a little bit. And so for whoever that might be, whether it's you or the other person, they need that time to investigate the wounded heart, and acknowledge that it's there and that it needs healing. and allow a space for that to take place. We have the King of Swords underneath the King of Hearts. That's interesting. So this Three of Wands was describing the Four of Swords. Notice the imagery, right? There's a bird flying down in between, the trees and everything. So there's a space that's needed before an attack is made, before action is taken. It's almost as if the intention is needed first, and the focus and expectation of what has to happen needs to be very clear in order for this to succeed, whatever that is. And I think that's something you both need in different ways, is clarity. Actually it's very obvious here. The King of Cups needs to be the King of Swords with that level of clarity and understanding. And I think that's what's out of balance, is, again, the Queen of Swords has some heart work to do. They need to clear that out. They need to clear the heart center. And then the King needs to clear the mind. There's a lot of clutter, a lot of old thought patterns, or just noise that's up there. And when these two people come together, healed, I think you could both come together and really create big things. Because I think that's part of the friction too, is that both of you know the potential that you have to make big dreams possible. Because I think you might have done so before. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a business partnership, actually. But if it's a relationship, I think you've manifested a lot. You've been able to do a lot together as a team. We're just getting another row of cards. I'll get one more. Yeah. So, although for the other piles, it might have been, you're better off without them. Just cut them off and it'll be, easier. In this case, it's not that you won't be better off without them. It's just that if you don't heal yourself, it's just going to keep happening. Whatever this is, whichever party you feel drawn to. So if you're the one with heart healing, or if your mind is just cluttered with almost obtrusive thoughts, where you're constantly thinking negative things, that needs to be fixed before you move forward in any future relationship or future project. So but what I think as well is that, if you give yourself that space and you give yourself that time, you won't have to worry about the other person doing that. It's almost as if they'll do that on their own naturally. Because we have the Death card underneath. I'll elaborate on that in a sec. But we also have the Two of Swords. And I think this Two of Swords represents, this is one sword from one of you and the other sword from the other one. And the swords are broken. It's almost like, again, the intention isn't very clear for either of you. And that's why whatever it is that you want to manifest as a team isn't happening. It's because you both aren't entirely clear, and that's because, again, you're both wounded in one or the other ways. And maybe there's been some lashing out from the other partner. That's because they've been hurt. That doesn't justify anything, but they're coming from that wounded place, and there's healing to be done. But this feels temporary. This doesn't feel like a. I mean, we have the death card underneath. This doesn't feel like the end of the relationship. It just feels like the end of this cycle, whatever. It almost feels like it might have been recurring or just a temporary thing. But I think the space would definitely help. The space would definitely help kind of sort through the root cause of the emotional turbulence. Or I think for the King of Hearts, it would be maybe a father figure who is kind of talking down to them in some way. And then for the Queen of Swords, it would be more of that King of Cups hearing the condescending tone of their father figure and taking it out on you potentially. So there's like chains of healing that need to happen, but the space would help you identify where it starts, and I think the healing would happen very naturally, and then from there you could manifest anything very easily. And I don't think it takes a lot of time either. But let's get another oracle. Why would you be better off without them? And this pile is a little tricky because it's like, it's not that you wouldn't be better off without them, it's just don't fool yourself in thinking if I cut this person off, I'm home free, I'll be healed. No, it's more of your own healing. They're reflecting a part of you that needs healing in an opposite sense. I hope that makes sense. You know how like sometimes you see a reflection and it's flipped? That's kind of what this feels like. I need a stretch. Man, look at that. Union. So this is if there was a twin flame journey or something along those lines. This is a partnership that just needs a little space and time to heal at an individual level, and through healing individually you could heal each other. So yeah, it's very beautiful. Wishing you the best. I know it's definitely possible. Hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. Thank you so much for your time and for your support. It really means everything. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.